I'm going to walk through an outline of our unit now on circles. Beginning of this is information you should already know and be able to do from past experience, but we'll walk through it anyhow. First thing with our circles is naming a circle. So we know that a circle is this round object here. The definition of a circle technically is all points the same distance away from one given point. That given point is known as the center. So in this circle here, A is the center, and every point on the circle, if we measure it out anywhere from A out, we would get the same amount. That's the definition of a circle. When we name a circle, we do so like we've done in geometry before. The beauty of geometry and naming things is that the name often includes a picture or symbol that looks like our geometric figure. So a circle symbol is this right here. We have a circle and we put a dot in the middle. The reason we have the dot is when we include the name of a circle, we name the dot or point that represents the center of the circle. In this case, this is circle A. Over here, we have circle B. As we do this, it makes sure that our circle is a particular circle. If I'm talking about circle A, everybody should look at this circle. If I talk about circle B, your focus goes over here. So when we name a circle, we use this symbol right here, and we include a capital letter which represents the point that's the center of the circle. Next thing we do is we look at what we call a radius. A radius goes from the center point out to any point on the circle. In this particular circle here, I see two radiuses, or as we usually say, radii, which is a plural of radius. So I have AB is a radius and AD is a radius. Now, when we get into the lengths of a radius, we know that any radius that we draw by definition of a circle is always going to be the same length. So in this picture here, AB is a radius, it's 4. That means AD is also 4. And anywhere I went from A out would be 4. The diameter is known as a chord. A chord connects 2 points on the circle, and a diameter is the chord that goes right through the middle. Actually cuts a circle in half. And what we know about the difference between a radius and a diameter, since these are both radii and they're both the same length, then if I know the radius, I can double it to get the diameter. Vice versa, if I know the diameter, I can take half to get the radius. If I look over my picture here, example 2, I have two radii again, BC and BD. In this circle, it's telling us that that's 5 inches. So each radius would be 5 inches, and the diameter, CD, would be 10 inches. Next concept we do with circles is we find the circumference. Circumference is like our other figures, it's the distance around. In our other figures that had segments around them, like rectangles, squares, these were straight lines. In a circle, it's curved. So instead of using the word perimeter, we use the word circumference. Circum means around. So going all the way around the circle. To find the circumference, what we do is we multiply this number here, pi, 3.14, if you don't have that button on in some of your calculator, times the length of the diameter, not the radius, the diameter. In this picture, before I extended it, all I had was the radius, but I know if I have the radius, I also have the diameter. So to find the circumference of this, I'm going to take 8 times pi. And if I use my calculator, I can plug in 3.14, I can multiply by 8, and up here it says to the nearest tenth, so I'm going to round this. This is a 2, that's going to stay 1. The circumference of that circle is 25.1. This right here is what's called the exact answer. Pi is not an exact number. 3.14 does not equal pi. It is an estimation of pi. Pi is actually a decimal that goes on forever. So if they ask for an exact answer, we do this. If they say something to the 10th or the 100th or some other decimal place, we're going to substitute 3.14 in. Look at 2, circumference. The diameter is 10, so we go 10 times pi. 10 times pi would be 31.4. A couple more examples like that. We got here. We're going to name this circle C. Here's how we name it. This one over here, D is in the middle. Circle D is that circle. Radii here. Notice the radius. If you name a radius, they all include a C in it. They all include the center point. So we go C out. CD, CE, CF. Over here, the radii DH, DG, DI, DF. The diameter goes all the way across through the center. So the diameter on this one is DE. In the picture, it says it's 14. Remember, this one, I don't have the radius, I have the diameter, but if I wanted to know this length or this length or this length, it would be half of that, or 7. Circumference would be 14 times pi. Use our calculator, we get 44.96. It says to the nearest tenth, so we're going to round here. Because we're rounding up, it actually rounds to a whole number. If you wanted to show a tenths place, you could put 0.0. That's okay, but this is fine. Same thing here. Diameter is 12. Circumference is 12 times pi. Plug it in. We get 37.7. That's the basics in our circle. I'll be back with another video looking at arc lengths and central angles.